Hi, welcome to iGNOU Mitra, Yarns to Learn. We are an online platform of iGNOU UG Courses. We give quality comprehensive classes which covers the entire syllabus in the short period of time. It is specially crafted for working aspirants. We demand only 1 hour per day to cover the entire syllabus. We assure you best results in your upcoming TEE exams. Admissions are open for January 2023 batch. We are focusing more on June TEE 2023. Classes are commencing soon. For more information and updates regarding the same, contact and subscribe to our channel iGNOU Mitra 22. And for more queries, contact our team at Team iGNOU Mitra. As we know, we have 2 major papers in the iGNOU, that are 4 credit papers and 6 credit papers. We offer our service for 4 credit papers at Rs 1,499 per course, and for 6 credit courses we offer the same at Rs 1,999 per course. So let's start our iGNOU journey together. Let us start with BECC 131 Principles of Microeconomics 1. We'll go with Unit 1 Introduction to Economics and Economy. We'll start with the topic concept of scarcity. Economics is widely defined using different definitions, but the major one being the concept of scarcity, or the definition of scarcity put forward by Lionel Robbins. Lionel Robbins gave the scarcity definition in his words as: economics is a science that studies human behavior as a relationship between limited resources and unlimited wants, which has alternative uses. So, as mentioned in the definition, the scarcity definition has 2 major components, which are unlimited wants or ends and the scarce resources or means. To keep it simple, human wants are unlimited and keeps on increasing day by day. Different wants differ in their intensity, but the resources are scarce and must be used judiciously. We have to allocate resources in such a way that the utility of a rational consumer is being maximized. For example, if we have 1,000 rupees, we may use it now or consume it now or save it for a later use. Hence, it completely depends on the discretion of the rational consumer, and the need is to maximize the utility of the consumer. Subject to the availability of resources, higher order wants needs to be satisfied first, and if the resources exist or are still available, these must be used to satisfy lower order wants. Scarce means thus have alternative uses, and it is the discretion of the consumer to use it accordingly. Now let us go to the meaning of production. Production implies the transformation of inputs to output, thereby increasing the want satisfying capacity of the inputs. For example, in production of clothes, cotton may be an input and cotton sari might be an output. The transformation occurs in such a way that the want satisfying capacity of input, that is cotton, is being enhanced and transformed into a sari. The transformation thus can be of different forms, which include physical, spatial, or intertemporal. Physical transformation, as we have mentioned, that is a different appearance which enhances want satisfying capacity. That is, as we have mentioned, the cotton being transformed into a cotton sari. It could be spatial, that is, relocate or transfer the things from one place to another to make it available to the end users or the final users. Or it could be intertemporal, that is, saving or preserving things which are made today for a later use or a warehousing. For example, cotton fabric will be used, or it will be saved for it will be an intermediate output, and it will be later transformed into a dress. So that will be a cotton fabric will be an intermediate input or intermediate output. So hence this transformation involves some human, that is both physical and intellectual input. So production is nothing but the creation of utility. Let us now discuss the central problems of an economy. As an economics student, we must be very much aware about the central problems that exist in the economy. We classify the central problems into 3 major questions, that is, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Let us break it down into simpler terms. The first question being what to produce. An economy does not have enough resources to produce everything required by it. As we have already mentioned, the resources are very much scarce. So it must be selective and decide what to produce and what not to produce. The decisions regarding the wants to be satisfied and the goods and services to be produced in the economy are very much interrelated and should be taken in a very coordinated manner. That is what we call as the allocation of productive resources. Hence, the first question deals with the concept of allocation of resources efficiently due to its scarcity. The second question is how to produce. The output that must be used in the economy should be produced in such a way that there should be efficient allocation of resources or the inputs. We generally use two inputs, that is labor and capital. The exact proportion of factor inputs used in the production of goods need to be decided irrespective of the size and nature of the economy. This is called the technique of production of the firm. So the decisions will be based on two major factors, that is the relative price of labor and capital and the relative efficiency of the two inputs. For example, India is a very labor intensive country. So if we have to produce something in our country, we normally go for labor intensive techniques compared to US, which is a very capital intensive country. So the efficiency of the inputs as well as the price of the inputs are very much relevant in this concept. As labor is more cheap here, we tend to hire more laborers and produce the output in such a way that it is very labor intensive. So the economy has to deal with all these concepts in dealing with the question how to produce. The third important question to discuss is for whom to produce. All goods and services produced in an economy must be distributed among the individuals and the households. The share of each individual and household has to be determined, and also the quantities of specific goods and services which comprise that share. For example, luxurious goods will be preferred by particular individuals, but at the same time necessity goods will be preferred by all individuals or all households irrespectively. So the production must be in such a way that the resources or the products are adequately distributed among the households and the individuals. As we have dealt with the three major central problems of the economy, that is what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce, we'll next discuss the production possibility curve. The economy has to choose between alternate combinations of various goods and services, as we have mentioned in the first central problem of the economy, that is what to produce. The problem of choice can be illustrated by a production possibility curve or a product transformation curve. So basically, production possibility frontier or a PPC is a curve which shows various combination of the amounts of two goods that can be produced in an economy within the given resources and technology. So to further break it down, we draw the graphical representation of PPC is made using several assumptions. To list it down, the following assumptions are being taken. For example, the country is producing two products, that is one is LED screen and the other one is computer monitor. We'll discuss the whole PPC using these examples. The assumptions, the major assumptions underlying are: the country has to choose between alternative combinations of only two products, that is LED monitor and the computer monitor M. All productive resources of the country are taken as given, and so is the state of technology, and no changes are made within them. So basically, two products are being produced and all the resources of the economy is being used efficiently in such a way that both these gets the equal amount of resources. Third point is that all productive resources of the economy are fully employed. There is no wastage or underutilization. The resources are fully utilized and there is no wastage at all to produce these two components or these two products. The resources that we use or the inputs that we use can be equally used in the production of both the products. They can therefore be shifted from the production of one to the other goods. That is, the resources used for the LED can also be used in the production of computer monitors, and because of that, either one can be produced and there is a certain trade-off between both these products. However, such a shift would reduce the production of the first good and increase that of the other. That is, if we are using a particular resource to produce the computer screen, that is the monitor, then obviously there will be a reduction in the production of LED screens. Next is, no factor of production is considered to be specific in the production of one good alone and inappropriate for the production of the other. For example, if a metal is being used as a resource or as an input, it can be used by both monitor screen as well as the LED screen. It's not that only one product can use any of the resources. The resources are completely equally distributed. Next one is we consider the productive efficiency of the productive resources only in physical terms, that is units of LED and computer monitor which they can produce. So the number of units or the products which are being produced are very much important in this context. Let us analyze the production possibility curve using the table given in the slide. We have 7 different combinations of LED and computer monitor screens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. The first combination deals with only LED numbers. We have 4 parts in the table, that is the number of LED, the number of computer monitors, loss of M for each additional L produced and loss of L for each additional M produced. As there is an existing trade-off between the LED screens and the computer monitors, there is obviously a factor that for each additional L produced, there will be a reduction in M. Also, if the monitor is being more produced, for each additional M produced, there will be a reduction in L. So we are trying to inculcate this in a table. So the first combination, that is LED, has 30 units of LED and the computer monitor units are 0. So loss of M for each additional L produced is 2.8 tons in that particular combination, and it is 0 for the loss of L for each additional M produced in that same particular combination. Coming to the second combination, there is a reduction of LED from 30 to 25 and there is an increase of computer monitor screens from 0 to 14. So obviously there is a loss of L as of now, and when we are computing the loss of M for each additional L produced, that is 1.2 tons, and loss of L for each additional M produced, that is 0.357 numbers. Again, coming to the third combination, there is a reduction of LED from 25 to 20, and obviously there is an increase of computer monitors from 14 to 20. That is, when one unit of a good decreases, the other unit increases. That is the possible trade-off that is existing. We have to compute the loss of M for each additional L produced and loss of L for each additional M produced. Computing this in the table will come to all these 7 combinations. The last combination will have 0 number of LED screens. That is, we started from 30 and now we have entered the LED screens to 0 numbers, and at the same time computer monitor screens has increased from the first combination of 0 to 30 in the 7th combination. And as we have computed before, loss of M for each additional L produced in turns is 0 in the 7th combination, but at the same time it's high in the loss of L for each additional M produced, that is 5 numbers. This is what we get to know from the table. We'll represent this graphically in the production possibility frontier, which is explained in the next slide. So the graph will be plotted in such a way that the quantity of M or the monitor is measured along the x-axis and the numbers of L, that is LED screens, are measured along the y-axis. The respective pairs of the quantities of L and M are plotted and joined with each other to yield a curve which is called the production possibility curve. So the production possibility curve is nothing but the locus of all available components or the best components that is available to us and the combination of output that can be produced using it. Thus, As we have mentioned, it is the combination of all L and M which can be produced using all the productive resources of the economy efficiently. Efficiency is the major point of concern here, because we can produce all these resources both inefficiently also, but as we are more concerned about the central problems of the economy, we tend to produce it in a very efficient manner, and PPC tends to identify these efficient allocations of resources. Okay, so in that sense, each point on the curve represents the maximum possible output, and for that reason it is also termed the production frontier of the economy. The production possibility curve is explained in the graph given in the slide. That is, the computer monitors are explained in the x-axis of the graph and the LED numbers are explained in the y-axis. As we know, we have plotted concave curves, that is the production possibility curves in the graph. It shows the combination of all possible outputs. Let us discuss the graph in detail. That is, if we see the first point, that is in the x-axis, when it is 30, the y-axis will be around 0. That is one possible output combination, that is 30 units of computer monitors and 0 units of LED. Also the other one, that is 30 units of LED screen will have 0 units of computer monitors, and all the combinations in between shows the possible outcomes which can be used efficiently in the economy. So PPC is nothing but the locus of all these available outputs which can be produced efficiently in the economy, and the points described in below and above can be discussed in the next slide. As we have mentioned, the economy can produce any combination of L and M represented by a point on the PPC. The points on the PPC are very much important. The points below the PPC and the points above the PPC comes under a very different context. Production combinations represented by the shaded area in the graph that we have already shown imply that the economy can produce either L or M or both. As we have mentioned in the graph before, there is a point in the x-axis where we produce just computer monitors, or there is a point in the graph where we produce just the LED screens. But there are also other points in which we produce both LEDs as well as computer monitors. So the combination should be in such a way that the economy gets to produce the efficient ones. So we tend to get 3 combinations here, combinations A, B, C and D. 4 combinations, we'll try to explain it. So the first combinations are B and C that are on the point of PPC. These are the most efficient points because the economy can produce both the goods, computer monitors as well as LED screens in both these points B and C, because they are on the points of PPC. On the point below PPC, that is point A, it comes under the shaded area. This is also an area a point of combination that can be produced. It can be produced with the number of LEDs and computer monitors, but it won't be efficient enough. See, the problem is that we can produce till a point of B or C where we'll have more number of LED screens or computer monitors, and there is no need that we have to settle down for A, which is in less number of monitor screens or LED screens. So the point A, though we can produce it, it is inefficient. So the point B and C are more efficient as it is on the points around the points of the curve. So if it produces at point A, it is not utilizing some of its productive resources and let them go waste. But coming to the point D, it is a very good option, but at the same time we don't have access to that point of D. That is, any point beyond the PPC shows a combination of L and M in which the economy cannot produce, or the economy has no access to that point of D. So we have had 4 options, that is A, combination B, combination C and D. The combination A was the point at which we could produce, but many of the resources will be underutilized, or many of the resources will go under wastage. The point B is the area above the PPC curve which shows that the resources are inaccessible. The economy cannot produce that combination of output. But the points B and C are on the combination level or on the lines of the PPC, which implies that is the most efficient way of using the resources to produce whatever the output that is demanded by the economy. So yes, that's the end of production possibility curve. So let's sum up what we have learned today. That is, the first we started with the concept of scarcity and how the unlimited wants or ends drives the human being, and how the scarce resources or means should be judiciously used by the human beings. Next, we went to the meaning of production, that is the transformation of inputs to outputs that enhances the want satisfying capacity of the inputs. We went to the central problems of the economy, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. We have also discussed the production possibility curve, the underlying assumptions, the graphical representations, and the table of content that is used for the representations. So basically, it shows all the possible allocations of two goods that is produced in an economy in a very efficient way. So these are the concepts that we have discussed in the first unit, that is of the economy, introduction to the economy. So now we are dealing with the previous year questions or the previous year question papers that have discussed about these topics. So basically, I have taken two exam questions, that is BA General Term and Examination June 2022 and BA General Term and Examination of December 2021. We have had different questions on this area. The major questions are, first one is, what is production possibility curve? Illustrate along with the underlying assumptions. We have already read about all the same, that is what is a production possibility curve, what are the different assumptions under which the resources that should be used should be efficient, it is substitutable, it is equally distributed, or it is distributed in such a way that one can be used with the other also, it is not specifically reserved for any one of the outputs. So all these assumptions come under the production possibility curve. That is the first question. Second one that comes under the June examination of 2022. Second question is, write short notes on central problems of an economy. These are 4 mark. The first one was 10 mark question. The second one is 4 mark question. Write short notes on central problems of an economy. You have what to produce, for whom to produce, how to produce. All these 3 major central problems explained with examples. You can illustrate all this you can illustrate it with using the suitable examples. Third question is, draw a production possibility curve. What is the slope of this curve? Slope of the curve is yet to be mentioned, but at the same time, production possibility curve can be explained as if the concave to the origin, it's concave to the origin. We have explained it using the table as well as the graph, and how both the outputs are being marked in both the axes of the graph. The fourth and final question in the December 2021 session is, mark in the same figure when resources are underutilized and when resources are efficiently utilized. We have mentioned about different points in the PPC. When the resources are underutilized, we have mentioned about the point A, under which we are able to produce the output, but it is very underutilized. So many of the resources tend to go under wastage. And when resources are efficiently utilized, we have 2 other different combinations, that is B and C, where the resources are very much efficiently used, and it is on the points of PPC. So these are the basic questions that have come under the previous year question papers. So there will be more in the questions also, and the area is also very much important. For more classes, join our regular batch, which is commencing on January 2023, and the registration link is given in the description box below. For more updates, subscribe our Telegram channel at iGNOU Mitra 22, and for more queries and updates, contact our team at Team iGNOU Mitra. Thank you.